You are about to enter a world of imagination, where what battles are fought on hex maps and grids, whether virtually or on tabletop. So, whoops. Dice are cast, swords clash, and even the toughest problems can be solved with little ingenuity and a lot of luck. From power gamers to role players, all are welcome here. Hell, even 4th edition has a seat at the table. So, with dice in hand and a heart longing for adventure, I'd like to welcome you all to this polyhedral paradise. What is up, everybody? Good evening! Welcome to the first stream in about a month of Sundays. That's right, I'm back. And this is the Ghost Cat Aftershow. Some of you may have just watched the Ghost Cat video, part 1. And if you did, welcome. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about the creation of the Ghost Cat video, the trials and tribulations of getting this thing done, or at least halfway done. And we're gonna talk about what you can expect in number 2, and we're also gonna go over the actual book, the right here, the not Van Richard's Guide to Ghosts, but the Children of the Night Supplement to Ghosts. So, you know, if you love cats, if you love ghosts, if you love the undead, this is the post-stream show for you. But you know, thank you guys for showing up and for coming back. It's been a minute, but hopefully it's gonna be the new format for a while. I'm gonna try to release a lore video on a Monday and then do an after show. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Trinity, 2nd Street Marvel, good to see you, buddy. Gray, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. It's really good to see you, friend. How does everything sound out there? Let me turn down the music a little bit. Ooh, it is storming out there. For any of you who are on the Eastern Seaboard, ooh, baby, it's rough. But tonight, we're safe and dry. And I'm drinking a little Mom Jean's drink, as a celebration of getting back into the saddle. Yeah, I tell you, it's weird being away for so long and then getting back to it, but you know, but I'm enjoying that. So, what'd you guys think of the El Gato Muerto, huh? So, that was a video. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Let me mute my phone here. That's my fault. Sorry. Let me just shut this off here. That's streamer etiquette 101. And I have failed. Alright, there we go. Sorry. To my daughter, if you're watching, yes, you are allowed in the basement. No, you are not allowed in the office. So, let's see if she's watching. She said she'd watch, but I'm not sure if she's actually watching. She's got a case of the 13s. Nothing I do is cool anymore. So this is the first time I'm streaming from the new setup. So hopefully the stream goes good. But anyway, the Ghost Cat. So that is a video I started almost a year and a half ago. Shortly after I did the Revelations of the Prince of Twilight, I wrote the script for the Ghost Cat, and I was like, I'm gonna knock this out in like 2 weeks. I'm gonna get it out. A year and some odd months later, I finally released the first part of it, and the majority of that editing has been done in the past 2 weeks. So I started editing the first part. If you notice in the video, there are actually several different assets that I use for my logos and everything, and that just sort of shows you how long I was editing this. And like, for a while I had considered scrapping the entire first part of it, but I had so much of it already done and already in the can, like I couldn't get rid of it. And then I was looking, I had actually deleted the original source file where I had it in the editing program, and all I had was this work in print, which was is not even 1K. Like, it's 720p or less. So I don't know if you notice a difference in the quality of like the first like 2 or 3 minutes versus the end of the video, but yeah, I had to save that, and I considered scrapping the video for the longest time, but I was like, you know what, I like this video, and I want to finish it. So that was just the first part. So, but the next Monday, I'm gonna have the second part done and have it out to you guys. Hi, Nance. No, don't worry about it. I'll see you soon. So anyway, just talk about the different supplements here. So I'm not gonna keep you guys for too long tonight, but I'll thank you for joining me. So, Van Richten. Oh, now if anybody has played Ravenloft or not played Ravenloft, it whoops, sorry, huh? That's weird. Just playing my intro song again. There we go. So, Van Richten is a person who exists in Ravenloft who actually, in-game, goes around and chronicles the different creatures of Ravenloft. For anybody who doesn't know, Ravenloft is the domain of dread. It's a demiplane where the demiplane itself is like a prison for evil people. It traps all these like extremely evil people, and it gives them their own little prison, and they're called domains. So I'm giving you the bullet points here. If anybody knows what Ravenloft is, this is like, oh, treading ground here. But, you know, for people who don't know, it's basically like a prison for evil people, and everybody's given their own chunk of land, and they can never leave their domain. Some people's domains are as small as their house, and some people's domains are huge. Well, Rudolf Van Richten was a person who traveled between the domains, and he actually categorized all the creatures that existed within it. And D&D 2nd edition put out these books. They were the Van Richten's guides. Now, these were actually canonical in-universe books that explained how the creatures worked. Now, there was a supplement that came out, this one here, Van Richten's Guide to Ghosts, which gave you a breakdown of how ghosts work within the Ravenloft universe, and it's written from Van Richten's perspective. Now, I won't I'll give you I'm gonna read the introduction here, but I'm not gonna spend all day reading to you. So let's see, that's my eyes. Excuse me, give me 1 second here, let me fix this. So there we go. Okay. This is the introduction to Van Richten's Guide to Ghosts. My life among the dead. I have lived a long life, I am lucky. It shall not end soon. I am in good health despite all the storms I have weathered. Still, I know that the black shroud of death will one day fall across me. When it does, I will look upon a life that was long and hard, but not without its rewards. I have done much good. Of this I am certain. I shall face the grave with no regrets, and but one sorrow. Let me recount it for you. My first encounter with the undead was with the horrible vampire who called himself Baron Metis. When that fiend stole my beloved son, Erasmus, and then murdered my dear wife, Ingrid, I vowed I should devote myself to the utter annihilation of all his diabolical kind. The sorrow, of course, is that I have become what I have become at the cost of losing my family. At that time, however... Sorry, I got distracted by a red light on my mic. Sorry. I vowed I should devote myself to the utter annihilation of all his diabolical kind. The sorrow, of course, is that I have become what I have become at the cost of my loving family. At the time, however, I was a much younger man. I meant only that I should battle the dread vampire in all its shapes, that I should seek the very lair to see that these monsters were destroyed. I did not understand the scope of my quest then. To track down and destroy all the vampires in all the worlds I know of, it is an impossible task, but I never hesitated. Not one single man can do all that. I have set forth to do it. It is my hope, however, that by placing what I know in the series of books, I will aid those who will follow my quest. If you have seen the eyes of death looking at you, if you have heard the feral hiss in the darkness, if you have known the terror that awaits, then you know the importance of my work. I offer you my heart, my prayers, and most importantly, my knowledge. In these 3 decades that have passed since the death of my wife and child, I have traveled much. I have seen horror in all of its shapes. I have faced monsters that could only have issued forth from the despair, from the deepest pits of evil. In every case, I have been tempered by the meeting. Those I destroyed filled me with the courage and the energy to continue in my holy work. Those that have escaped my vengeance left me the wiser for each such encounter. Never again, I vowed, would I be as short-sighted in a future meeting. Those that defeated me, and there have been many despite my undeserved reputation for invincibility, have left me stronger for the wounds they have inflicted upon me. How many times have I been driven to death's door by the creatures of the darkness? I cannot say. But in every instance, I was determined to battle back from the injuries I suffered and to have my revenge. I am a peaceful, merciful man, but such vengeance is sweet indeed. And that's written by Rudolph Van Richten, the introduction to Van Richten's Guide to Ghosts. Now, in this book, it gives a tremendously detailed breakdown of how to deal with ghosts in game. But it's got an overview here. Chapter 1 is the different types of ghosts. Chapter 2, ordinary powers. Chapter 3, extraordinary powers. Chapter 4, vulnerabilities. Chapter 5, speak with the dead. Chapter 6, investigating and haunting. Now, the reason I bring up this book in particular is to draw a parallel between the book that I cited in the video, which is Children of the Night, Ghosts. Now, on the surface, you'd be like, well, it's the same type of book, right? It's a guidebook to ghosts. Well, where that Van Richten's Guide is an overview on dealing with ghosts, Children of the Night, Ghosts, which was put out by Carget, is specifically deals with named monsters. So, in this, you've got the different types of ghosts that are covered in this. Now I'm just going to read this here. There's Jimmy Upton, the Ghost Cat, which obviously was the impetus for the video. William Pelham, Susanna Josson, Fiona Helvasar, Lord Alexander Lupinoff, Sir Marcus Malvoy, Hurrick and Aracolas, Nicola Manthena, Rihanna. Not that Rihanna. Ghost of Hospitality, Diana Wallershin, and Ezekiel Preston. So, as with the first 3 volumes of this series, Children of the Night Ghosts attempts to provide a unique ghost that Dungeon Masters can easily introduce to their campaigns. Each entry in this book can be used like a mini adventure for any D&D setting. In the Dungeon Master, if he wishes, can provide like a reoccurring ghost character. Since it's not possible to put a fully detailed adventure into 6 or 8 pages of text, each entry includes a full biography of the ghost and a short scenario that introduces the ghost to the player characters. While the important aspects of each scenario has been covered, not all of the possibilities and outcomes can be detailed because such space considerations. The scenarios don't always focus on laying the ghost to rest. In fact, several of the ghosts are either too strong or too dedicated to be put that easily to rest. As a result, these ghosts can plague or help the heroes in later adventures. And that's interesting with the Ghost Cat because, as you kind of see in the story, at first, the Ghost Cat starts to become a little bit of a help to Bryn and Trevathan, or the player characters. So we'll get to that in a second here. Although the scenarios in this book have been arranged by player character difficulty, they do not have to be played in that order. In fact, the best way to use this book is to pepper them through a campaign instead of playing them back to back, because you wouldn't want to just have your characters move from one ghost scenario to another ghost scenario to another ghost scenario, because it would just become repetitive. So that's what this book is for. So it's it's nice to be able to pull these ghosts out. Now, there's a lot of interesting ghosts in this book, but I chose the ghost cat because who doesn't love cats, right? I mean, who doesn't love cats? And the fact, like, that that it is, you know, feline companions you think of as you know, bad luck, right? But this cat, once he first gets a hold of the PCs, offers a lot of benefits. So just give you an overview if you haven't like caught it from the video. It looks exactly like a regular living creature. It usually adopts the form of a cat and typically black. Although, here's the interesting thing that we're going to find out later on in the video, and I give you a sneak peek here. It doesn't always have to appear as a cat. Sometimes it appears as a raven, or a rat, or even a small monkey. It's large, but not unnaturally so, and typically glossy black. So, pardon some of the visuals that I used in the video, if I took some liberties with the way the cat looks. And it doesn't have to always be colorful, but it's black. But the one thing that you can tell by looking at this cat, or looking at this creature, its eyes never blink. So the cat or creature can usually only be seen by the person that it has attached itself to. Other people can neither see it nor feel it. So at the Dungeon Master's discretion, people who have been marked by the cat may be able to catch a glimpse of it, usually out of the corner of their eye, but it's invariably gone when they turn to look. Those sensitive to evil often feel a chill when they're in its presence, but they can never full on see it. So only the person who is like, is this cat's taking a shining to, that's the only person who can tell that it's there. So as we talked about, the ghost cat is a ghost that attaches itself to a person who has committed some sort of ill deed. It usually appears shortly after character has failed some sort of powers check and subtly urges the character to commit further atrocities. Now, we haven't gotten to that point in our story, but just know in part 2 it's coming. We've only gotten to the point where the cat's proven its worth to somebody, to Bryn in this case, but it's going to push him on to some stuff, you know. So it strongly resembles the classical furries in that it has no interest in innocence, choosing instead those tainted by evil because of their own acts. To assure that its victim does not fall prey to the many dangers that populate Ravenloft, it sets its mark upon its master that only evil creatures can see. So it'll mark it, and its master will be marked, and we'll see in the second video that once the character is marked, in this case Bryn, there's going to be some evil creatures that actually back off of Bryn because it's been marked by the ghost cat. But I don't want to spoil too much of the second video. Let's see. So even the mindless undead will break off attacks on the character that's marked and recoil, and they'll like recoil in horror. No creature less than a domain lord dares risk the vengeance of the cat by destroying the person that it's marked. And most of the domain lords who have come across the marked one lets them go free. They're pleased to find one whose misery is destined to equal his own, because once this cat gets its claws in you, man, you're in for a hard time. So the creature first behaves to identical fashion as an animal whose form is taken, and we're just call it a cat for the most part. For example, it'll climb into the master's lap, it'll purr, it'll scratch at doors and windows. Time goes on, it spends more of its time simply staring at its master as if it were its prey. Slow realization of the truth that the unfamiliar is the true master and its apparent master is no more than a hapless victim typically drives its target to acts of desperation. These acts invariably bring destruction and suffering, not just to the victim, but to his nearest and dearest friends as well. So, this cat will help you out at the beginning, but let no good deed go unpunished. And since the cat's form is usually, a small, innocuous animal, it rarely engages in normal combat. So it'll stalk its prey on a spiritual and mental level, and not physical. It can only interact with its chosen victim, and on those rare occasions when it resorts to physical combat, it only inflicts minor damage, like a typical house cat would inflict. So damaging you physically is not what this thing sets out to do. However, once the small wounds heal, they heal very slowly. And they fester painfully, and they leave deadly white scars behind them, and they ache whenever the victim acts in a way contrary to the unfamiliar's wishes. So, if you're marked by the cat, you're scratched, you have these white scars on you, and they ache, and you're like, I want to help out this homeless person. And then all of a sudden your scars will start aching, and you get ready to hand them some 2 pence, and the 2 pence just fall right out of your hand because the scar is just like creating pain. So even though it can't cut you open, its pain is still permeates your body. So magical healing is also magical healing doesn't do as much benefit to the person who's affected. So if you think because it's you heal at 1/30th the normal rate, so 30 points of healing would be required to recover 1 hit point. So once you're cut up, it takes forever to heal. The ghost cat can't be turned. And it shows no aversion to holy symbols or holy water. It penetrates circles of protection with ease, and accompanies its chosen prey into holy sites with no show of distress. Although it may become more agitated with its victim seeking spiritual guidance or relief, taking whatever measures that are necessary to keep a hero from atonement. The only known weapon to work against it is the atonement spell, which only benefits its recipient when he undertakes a difficult quest to make expiation for whatever sin drew the ghost cat's attention in the first place. The ghost cat will, of course, seek to prevent such a quest from being successful by any power within its means. So, once it's got you, it does not want to let go. So, what I did with this book, I thought it would be interesting was to tell the adventure that comes with the book in sort of like a narrative adaptation. So, everything that happens at Bryn and Trevatham would assumedly happen to a PC. And of course, what you would want to do if you were using the ghost cat, you'd have to play it out a little different. Like you would sort of wait till one of your PCs failed a powers check, and then have this cat show up. And it's pretty tricky when you're dealing with a big party as a DM to sort of get the PC to notice the cat or notice the creature without having anybody else in the party notice it. So it's actually probably easier, more so nowadays, with the advent of online play than it was back in the day, because online play you could send somebody a message, hey, you see this cat over there, and all of a sudden the cat's helping him out, and cat's giving him these benefits, and you can secretly tell the other players without informing the rest of the group. But back in the day it would have been a little bit harder. But yeah, so that's, in a nutshell, that's the ghost cat. I think that having these books are a big benefit. One of the things I really liked about second edition D&D was because there was no dearth. There's plenty of information out there. Like, you would be able to dig deep on a creature and find out all the inner workings of a creature instead of having to just get this broad spectrum of analysis on a creature. You can really dig into the ecology and how these creatures worked. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna toss it back to you guys because it's really pouring out there, and I don't want to spoil too much for the second video, so I don't want to get into things that happen with Bryn and Trevathan. So I'm probably going to call it a stream in a couple minutes, unless anybody has any questions they want to ask about the ghost cat. But I'm gonna drop the second video for the ghost cat next Monday, and then we'll do a post stream wrap up. And I think I'm gonna have a guest on to discuss some of the ghosts and how they're used in D&D, and maybe how you can take the second edition information and bring that up to 5th if you so choose. But you know, so that's pretty much all we're gonna get into for tonight. It was a nice dip back in the water for me, and I appreciate you guys taking a look at the video and coming to go over a little bit more of the information in the books. I am let's see what else. You know what? I don't want to make any announcements here, so I'm not gonna make them. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me today. I'm gonna cut this stream here, and yeah, I will hope to see you guys all next Tuesday. Or I'm sorry, next Monday when the second video comes out. And remember, everybody, in the game of life, may you guys always roll with advantage. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for coming. It's great to be back, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Trinity, I don't have any questions other than what is all this? What does it mean? It's all game stuff, buddy. All stuff used for Ravenloft. The ghost messes with you. Makes you do things. The ghost cat, isn't it? And it makes you do more evil things. Once you do those other evil things, it makes you kill things against your will. Take care, everybody. I'll see you guys soon.